And what do you do now here in Salt Lake City?
Well, I do a lot of things. I'm the director of jazz and popular music studies at Westminster College. I'm the associate adjunct professor of saxophone at the University of Utah. I also teach privately in my home. I'm also a band leader, booking agent, composer, arranger, and producer. I have my own entertainment company, Lone Peak Sound, which is also a record label as well.
And so, what do you do in the afternoons? It's a joke. Tell me about your involvement with the Unitarian Church. You have a program called Jazz Vespers. What's your role in that?
I am the co-musical director of Jazz Vespers with Courtney Isaiah Smith, and I have been in that role this is the 10th year, I believe, that I've been in that role with Courtney. Prior to that, I was a guest artist on several Jazz Vespers programs dating back to 1999, the first year that I lived in Utah.
Give me a sense of this, the band that you've got that comprises Jazz Vespers. Who's in it, and what do they play?
So the Jazz Vespers Quartet, or JVQ, is myself, Courtney Isaiah Smith, Denson Angulo, and Parker Swenson on drum. So I obviously play saxophone, Courtney plays piano, Denson is on bass, Parker Swenson is on drums. This is Parker's first year with the group. He replaced Steve Lyman, who was in the group for 9 years. Yeah.
I've attended quite a few sessions over the last few years, not as many as I'd like to, but it's an absolutely amazing combo. And you guys fill the house virtually every Sunday that you play in November and December. Why is that?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's the musicianship of the group. I think we've set a standard over the decade that we've been doing this. People know they can expect good music. They know that they can expect quality performance. I think the tradition of Jazz Vespers itself being a 30-year tradition, obviously people have just grown accustomed to the last 8 Sundays before Christmas that there's going to be, Vespers going on. And I think the unique aspect of Jazz Vespers that my group has brought is the idea of the tributes, paying tribute to different musicians.
Tell me about that.
So when Courtney and I took over musical directorship of Jazz Vespers, we're always trying to maximize the potential of what it could be. And we got some ideas for some themed shows. And that just blossomed into a tradition because you've got the same band members every week. Sometimes they're augmented with guest artists, but you have the same band members every week, so there's a consistency there. But then you have this wide variety of artists to whom we pay tribute, and it could be, it ranges from Stevie Wonder to Janis Joplin to Sting and the Police to, Etta James and Led Zeppelin, Frank Sinatra. It's not just jazz. It's a whole variety of American music. So I think there's some curiosity in audience members. They're paying tribute to Bob Marley tonight. What are they going to do? I've even had Tom Goldsmith say, "How are you going to do that?" Well, we're just going to play the songs. These guys are great songwriters. Like the genres might change, but the songwriting is fantastic. Whether you're talking about Bob Marley or any of the other artists that I mentioned. So that sort of becomes, with paying tribute to the artists, then there's added curiosity from the audience. I want to hear what they're going to do with this person, or I want to hear what they're going to do with this person. That sort of a thing. The Unitarians as a whole have been absolutely incredible audiences. Very appreciative. I mean, the number of standing ovations we've received is, I mean, it's virtually every week there's a standing ovation. We've begun, when I first started, I don't think we planned for an encore, and I don't think that or for encores, I should say, and I don't think we even did encores for a while. But now it's just, we just plan for it. It's basically a given that we're gonna, I mean, if we don't plan for it, we'd be making a mistake, because people have grown to expect it. And that's, obviously, it's part of it is us playing the music, but part of it is the audience. And I think the audience has set a standard themselves. And that's partly due to the relationship between the audience and Tom Goldsmith. He gets them laughing. There's a loose vibe about it. It's very laid back. And then you have people like Courtney's mom in the audience who just yell things whenever she wants to. You know, that encouraging things to the band members that the audience often finds funny, and they're laughing at that. So the whole thing has a kind of a loose, sort of happy kind of party vibe to it, even though it's a church service, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's an interesting dynamic there. But I think, as I said, I think it's a conversation between Tom and the audience and us. It's a combination of those three things, and the way that we all interact, you know, in a Jazz Vespers, that creates that environment. I'm completely grateful for for the forum that the First Unitarian Church of Salt Lake City has provided me as a jazz musician. And I am very grateful for my relationships with the people who come to Jazz Vespers. Do you want me to play?
Yeah.
I'll play.
Sure.
Thank you.